G'day cocktail lovers and welcome to the Cocktail Dome where we make cocktails. Cocktails, cocktails, cocktails. That's right, I'm your host Chuck Carrots and with me as always is my co-host Archbishop. Glad to be with you, Chuck, as we mark a special day in the cocktail. That's right, Arch. Today we'll be giving you some inspiration for World Martini Day. Yes, sir. June 19th is dedicated to one of the classic cocktails, the martini. Yeah, and while most see the martini as a classic, some might say it's a bit boring. It's an old cocktail. It's only got, two main ingredients. So how much could you do with it? Well, that's a fair question, Chuck. And our angry bartender, he's a bit of a traditionalist with the martini, and he has promised to just stick with the gin vermouth in a dry martini, but he said we're in for some surprises, something truly unique coming out. Well, indeed, Arch, let's ask the man himself, the man some know as the Angry Aussie. Sir, what are you going to bring us for World Martini Day? Chuck and Arch, I'm looking forward to explaining how something as straightforward as a dry martini still gives you plenty of scope to play with it and come up with really quite different drinks. I mean, first, there are the ratios to take into account. And there's a range of accepted ratios. Yeah, you could go with 10 different ratios, everything from 50-50 through to the bone dry variation that has barely a splash of vermouth in it. Then there's the question of the garnish. Do you use olives, cocktail onions, or a twist of lemon? These aren't simply decorations. These will affect the flavour of the cocktail as well. There's also the option to add some olive brine to the drink, making it a dirty martini. But what really opens up the possibilities is the entire spectrum of gins and vermouths from distillers around the world. When you think about how many distillers have popped up in the last 10-20 years around the world making truly unique gins and vermouths, you honestly need more than a lifetime to try every variation of a martini that's possible. Thanks for the rundown, Mr. Angry. Well, I don't know about you, Arch. That has me very keen to see what our angry bartender delivers in terms of a martini. He's promised a different one for each of us. As a spoiler, he said they won't get mixed up because we'll be able to tell them apart. I'm certainly intrigued by that, Arch, and he's starting with Archie Rose's Bone Dry Gin. That's a very juniper forward gin. Will go really well in a dry martini. And he's adding 2.5 ounces or 75 mils to the mixing glass. Yes, Chuck, because we're not savages, these martinis will be stirred, not shaken. Oh, and I think I see how we'll be able to tell our martinis apart. He's made a very bold choice with the vermouth. He's using Cocchi Rosa. That's a red wine based, but still dry and somewhat bitter vermouth. And with 1/2 ounce of that in the mixing glass, he'll add a final touch, just a dash of orange bitters going in there. Yep, and now that'll be stirred on ice because of course we want our martini well chilled with some suitable dilution in there as well. And that'll be served up in a stylish martini glass with a twist of lemon as the garnish. Now we're straight into martini number 2, and he's gone for Threefold's Mediterranean Gin. Those who know will know the Threefold Gin. That's from the Threefold Distillery, and Steve the bartender, one of Australia's best known cocktail YouTubers, he's one of the partners at Threefold. And their Mediterranean gin includes olive, lemon, and thyme. Arch, now that's going to be a great base for a martini. He puts 2.5 ounces of the Threefold Mediterranean gin. That goes in the mixing glass. And now for the vermouth. Oh, look at that! Oh, bold choice! Well, that's Nocturne from Australian vermouth maker Maiden Eye. It's made from Australian wine and native botanicals, including black truffle. This is going to make that's a unique vermouth. It's going to make another great martini with its dry and comparatively bitter profile. So with 1/2 ounce of that in the mixing glass, it's going to round out with a dash of bitters, and then Arch will be stirring it once more, and then it'll be served up again in a martini glass with the garnish. Again, is going to be a twist of lemon. And here is your Martini Rosa and your Martini Nocturne. What more is there to say but cheers? Cheers. It's a great drink. It really does highlight Arch. I love the fact that the complexity of botanicals in different gins and different vermouths allows you to explore and make so many different tastes. And wherever you are in the world, we hope you do something special for World Martini Day, because life's too short for boring cocktails.